Hi, I've got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video in episode number 12, I believe, or episode number 11 of season 1 of the Mick Schumacher career mode, and we're here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And I think it's round 11 of the season, so there you go. Round 11 of the season, well into now the second half of the season after last time out in Silverstone. And Hungary, a track that's quite interesting and overall quite a tricky one for the Manor car, because, it is known as Monaco without the barriers, and you do depend quite heavily on a good level of downforce, which the Manor, even though it's improving as a car, it still doesn't have the optimum downforce level, so it could be a little bit more better than what it is. But even still, I think Mick's going to make do with the tools that he has at his disposal. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the return of this series, and also career mode as well, just the return of the videos as a whole. I'm trying to stay as consistent as possible, and I'm trying to stick to the upload regime of a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday for video a week sort of upload schedule, and that's sort of the plan going forward. But as you can see in practice so far, now focusing on task in hand, Mick's had a pretty successful practice session so far, and he's going to cap it off with an overall quite decent qualifying lap itself in the qualifying test. Even though he got held up by Marcus Ericsson, he's still going to come across and hit the purple target for 50 resource points, and that would be the end of practice. And qualifying was looking like a quite decent prospect, so let's just jump into it now and see how things shape up for the qualifying report. So jumping into qualifying, it was a beautiful Saturday afternoon. As you can see, the sun's shining and things are looking positive, hopefully, for a very good qualifying session here for Mick Schumacher. And so far, so good, as we jump into Q1, and we're joining live now with his first lap of the session. And he's currently not set a lap time in this session. He's going on the super softs, not messing around, going for the fastest tyre available. And the first lap gets in P5, and a quite impressive lap time there, only a few tenths behind Max Verstappen. So a nice little tasty lap time to kick things off in qualifying, and that would get him through quite comfortably into Q2. Where in Q2 itself, a bit of a different strategy, as he's going to try and qualify on the soft tyre. And as you can see, the lap's gone pretty well so far. I can tell you he's been sort of rushed by a Ferrari that's behind him, but going through the final corner, Mick's going to come through, open up the DRS, and as we come across the line, let's see what lap time he does. It's going to be good enough for P9, so there you go. Mick Schumacher getting himself up into P9, but now the question is, will that lap time be enough from now to the end of the session? And the answer is yes, it is, and Mick gets P9 for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and crucially starting the race on a slower tyre, which is more better for the race, because obviously you can go a bit longer in that first stint. But moving into Q3, and we're going to run on board now for the entirety of this lap as we now approach the first corner, looking for the 100 brake meter board on the left hand side. Mick actually locks up the right front, locking up and going quite deep, quite severely into the first corner, therefore missing his apex, but he corrects it quite nicely, getting some good traction on the exit as we now go into turn 3, this swooping down the hill left-hander. Very easy to lock up the left front here as we now get back on the power, flat out through turn 4, running out as wide as you can, trying to use all the track available as you now get ready for turn 5, a blind overcrest left-hander. So far the first sector going pretty okay for Mick, nothing spectacular, as we now swing it into 6 in 4th gear, trying to pick up the traction on the exit here, which is crucial, using all of the track once again. Like I said, throwing it into the chicane, turn 7 and 8 is crucial to try and attack the chicane and try and gain as much time as possible as we now go through the swooping lefts and rights of 9, 10 and 11, as you can see, getting on the exit at 10 through 11, absolutely flat out, and now turn 12, trying to carry as much speed as possible, getting on the power as soon as you can, running a little bit wide as we come across the second sector split. 4 tenths down so far, so not too shabby here from Mick Schumacher as we go into turn 13, a 90-degree right-hander, slowing it down for turn 14, now down at 3rd gear, trying to find that apex, missing it ever so slightly, trying to bring the nose back in for some good traction on the exit as we now go into the final corner, dropping down the 3rd gear to get the nose in, short shifting up into 4th, getting on the power nice and early, running a little bit wide, opening up the DRS and across the line, and it's going to be P8 for Mick Schumacher in the Hungarian Grand Prix. I was going to say the Austrian Grand Prix there for some reason, but I don't know why, but P8 in the Hungarian Grand Prix for Mick Schumacher. And an okay lap. I think there was a little bit of time there, especially with the first corner mistake that he made, but nevertheless, P8 for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and hopefully this promises to be a very tasty race on the soft tyre. So let's jump into the race. So moving into Sunday, and once again, nice sunny conditions and no rain expected, at least for now, and hopefully it will stay like this for the remainder of the race. But Mick, obviously starting from P8, is going to be looking to try and get a good result for the team, and obviously, you know, really try and maintain the form. And also, like I said before in every single video, and it seems to be a trend and he seems to keep on doing it, but try and score points in every single race so far this season in a Manor car. So let's see how things shape up for the Grand Prix. Obviously he's beating his teammates, so Verline's no competition, so it's just a question of seeing how far into the top 10 Mick Schumacher can go today, and who knows, maybe even challenge for the top 5. So let's just jump into it now, and we're going to get ready for the 5 red lights for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's going to be 5 red lights and lights out, and away we go for round 11 of the season. And so far, getting off the line, a pretty decent start from Mick Schumacher, getting past the Ferrari straight off the line. I believe it was Kimi Raikkonen, as we now go into turn 1, trying to look for the braking point, trying to slow it down, drop it down the second gear, find the inside line, keep it nice and tight, stay out of any sort of contact if possible, get on the power nice and early. And it's a good start from Mick Schumacher, up into 6th place I believe already, so a fantastic start, getting 2 places off the start of the race. And now going into turn 3 for the first time this race, Verstappen and Hamilton going side by side into turn 4, flat out through this corner. There's contact, and there's more contact as Mick hits the back of Hamilton, and a little bit of contact already on turn 4. Now more contact as Mick goes into the wall. He gets hit from behind, and he's lost an end plate. He's got an orange right front end plate, so something's gone wrong there, and I don't know who the hell hit him, but that's a very, very tricky incident. I think that might require a front wing change there for the Germans, so I think Mick's going to have to try and come in this lap and try and come in for a fresh front wing. As you can see, he's trying to change his strategy on the fly. Well, there's a massive train of cars, and Verline getting a good start from that and benefiting quite massively. But looking at the replay, you can see there's the contact, the initial contact, and then watching from Verstappen's point of view, there's the Williams of Bottas, and oh my days, like he just ploughed into the corner and he just absolutely smashed the back of Mick Schumacher. Now let's look at replay, and there you go. I mean, look at that, Bottas just not even braking, just absolutely reckless, straight into the back of the Manor car. So Valtteri Bottas there, very aggressive. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't get a penalty for that incident. As you can see, at the end of lap 1, because of the damage sustained, Mick was losing far too much time because of the damaged front wing, so he had to come into the pit lane for a fresh set of tyres and a fresh front wing. So we're going to go into the mediums, I believe, and try and go long for at least then this next stint, and try and drag it out as much as possible to try and get back on sync with the tyre strategy. And being in the Manor, it's going to be quite hard to fight back through the field, especially on the slowest compound of the 3 available this weekend. So it's definitely got his work cut out for the remainder of this race, but luckily there's still 30 odd laps to go, and you know, you could always get a safety car, a virtual safety car, or there could always be like an accident or someone with a puncture or something. So you just got to always keep your hope up, keep your chin up, and try and see if you can get something out of the race. So we're going to now skip later on into the race, and literally 1 lap later, Mick trying to get the pace down, and he sets the purple fastest lap of the race on the medium tyres. So testament to Mick Schumacher really getting the pace down. However, it's because I believe Lance Stroll is actually leading the race, so he was holding up the lead pack. But either way, still a purple lap from Mick Schumacher. And now eventually by lap 8 he caught up to some cars, and the first one is Marcus Ericsson as he slides up the inside of turn 13 on the Swedish driver, making a move there for P20, as I believe someone made a pit stop a couple laps before. So Mick now no longer in last place and up into 20th. But as you can see, moving now onto the start of lap 9, or towards the end of lap 8, you got a few cars in the pit lane, and also you got the Jaguar of Carlos Sainz, and also the Ferrari Sebastian Vettel in there, who I believe has just done a pit stop for soft tyres. But now going into the first corner, you can see you've got 2 Ferraris there, you've got cars coming out of pit lane, and actually everyone's getting slowed up quite a severe amount. And now Mick's going to try and go around the outside of Carlos Sainz, and look at this nice little cheeky move here, picking up some decent traction on these tyres around the outside of the Jaguar driver. And he's just going to launch one up the inside on the Spaniard and make it stick just about on the exit of 3, and there you go. So a nice easy move on Carlos Sainz, and just making the most of the contact. Oh, that was very close. I thought for a second we was going to see a replay of the first lap incident there, because the AR got really slowed up, and now Sainz trying to go around the outside, but it looks like we've got Bottas going very slowly, and I believe he may have some sort of engine problem, because I remember Jeff saying on the radio that you know, there was rumours that he might have some sort of engine power issue on electrical fault. So Bottas there struggling a little bit and losing positions very rapidly, and luckily thanks to him, Mick gained 3 positions in that process. But moving on to the end of lap 10 now, as you can see, Raikkonen eventually got past Bottas, and now he's looking very racy in that prancing horse. He's going to try and size up Mick Schumacher for a move into the first corner. As he goes to the inside, Mick tries to squeeze him a little bit, but Raikkonen's having absolutely none of it. But Mick's going to still go around the outside and manage to make it stick there, breaking nice and late into the first corner and pulling off the late braking move around the outside. So nice little defensive manoeuvre from the German as we now move on to lap 11. And as you can see, Mick's right behind Esteban Ocon. He's going to try and size him up for a move, and he actually goes for it. He's going for a nice late braking move move up the inside of turn 13, nice and late on the brakes, and just catching Esteban out there. And now the very next lap he's right behind his teammate Kevin Magnussen, going through turn 12, trying to get a good run through the corner, this time much closer than he was to Ocon. He's going to try and go for the move once again, braking nice and late up the inside, and he goes past the Danish driver quite easily there, with Magnussen not really putting up much of a defensive fight. And that was quite a couple of easy moves of both for the Renaults there. But as we move on to the end of lap 17 now, Mick is coming in for his first stop, or sorry, his first proper stop you could say, because the first one was false, but his second technical stop of the race, and he's going to get rid of these medium tyres and come in for a set of softs, I believe. And the plan here is obviously try and drag these softs out for as long as possible and maybe go to the end. It sort of depends on what the tyre wear is like. And also, you know, if we're lucky and there's like a safety car or a virtual safety car or something that can, you know, allow Mick to go at a reduced pace for a little while and try and save some tyre wear. But nevertheless, as you can see, Mick's going to rejoin the track here, just behind Max Verstappen, you just saw there, who's serving his pit stop, and he's going to rejoin in P15. So way down the order, and a little bit of work now for Mick to try and carve through the field and try and catch up to a few cars. And as you can see, at the end of lap 19 now, he's got up to P14 because I believe someone pit a few laps ago. And now a purple lap of the race right behind Fernando Alonso. He's going to open up the DRS and try and go to the inside, up the inside of the Spanish driver. Is he going to make the move on the brakes? Yes, he does. A nice simple overtake there up into P13, and he's now behind Max Verstappen, I believe. And can he try and pull off a move very soon on Max? You know, Max is on the medium tyre, and his pace hasn't been particularly great on the restart ever since he served his pit stop. So Mick could actually genuinely be the faster driver on pace here. So Mick's going to try and size him up for a possible overtake as he sets another purple first sector. So the pace really going well with this Manor car, especially on these fresh soft tyres. And now going through turn 5, as you can see, Mick getting a great run out the exit of the corner. Is he going to try and go for a cheeky little move up the inside of the chicane? Yes, he does. Up the inside on the brakes. A nice late braking manoeuvre, a little lock up on the right front, but he gets the job done, and he's now up into P12. And as we move on to lap 21, now up into P11, and you've got Pascal Wehrlein exiting the pit lane on medium tyres. And look at this move here as Mick switches back on Pascal and gets a brilliant bit of traction and a beautifully delightful switch back there. Incredibly satisfying just watching it back again, and just timed to absolute perfection there from the German driver on his German teammate. So moving on to lap 26 now, and Marcus Ericsson getting in the way of Mick Schumacher. He's currently in P5, and there's actually been contact for some reason. I think actually Ericsson's gone out of the race. So justice, I guess, because Ericsson really did hold up Mick then. I think Mick might have accidentally just ripped off his suspension. I'm not sure what happened there, but nevertheless, moving on to the action once again, and now midway for lap 27, you can see that Stoffel Van Dorn's in a brilliant P4 on soft tyres. And at this point, the Manor team are running the numbers, and they're wondering if Stoffel may or may not pit anymore this race, and they've decided they're going to risk it. So therefore, a nice late call by the team, but they are going to bring Mick in for a undercut and try and force Van Dorn in for a pit stop. So the team are going to switch from the softs to the super softs, because there was a possibility of going to the end on those tyres, but you know, the realistic ambition is to try and finish the race with some better tyres and try and get some good pace out of the car. So we're just going to come in for a set of super soft, play it safe, because obviously you know, you can get a puncture at anywhere past 70%, and the tyres were nearing that possible stage. So we're going to switch over to super softs, and now Mick's going to try and set an incredible outlap and try and undercut Stoffel Van Dorn and try and force him to come into the pit lane. There is still plenty of activity in the pit lane behind, so that means that the race isn't over yet, and a lot of people are still thinking about doing one more pit stop before the end of the race. And as you can see now, we've got both of the Williams ahead, battling Stroll and Bottas. Stroll, who was once in the lead at the start of this race, and now look where he is behind his teammate. As you can see, on these old medium tyres, the Williams cars are really starting to slow down here, especially Stroll, and Mick's trying to size him up for a possible overtake now into turn 5, trying to stay right close to the back end of that Williams, and now he's going to try and go around the outside of Lance Stroll. Can he make the move here on the other teenager? A little bit of contact, Stroll barging him off the track here, but Mick's having absolutely none of it as he goes around the outside. Super late braking move around the outside chicane, absolutely incredible stuff, and just showing the difference in grip that these super softs have over worn mediums. And now on the end of lap 28, he's now behind Bottas, who's opened up DRS, and now as you see that Williams actually streaking away in a straight line, but then we've got Kvyat just up ahead, and now going to turn 1, Bottas is going to make the move, but now Mick's going to go for a double overtake up the inside of the first corner. Look at that, absolutely fantastic move there from the German, and getting a double overtake done and dusted in the books. And he's now up into PA, and also I can tell you, I don't know if you saw it or not, but Van Dorn actually was exiting the pit lane that lap, so the undercut has worked beautifully, but for getting past Stoffel Van Dorn, and he's now got Sergio Perez up ahead now, lap 31 for P7. So as you can see, Van Dorn on the top left, now behind Mick Schumacher, getting the undercut to work beautifully, and he's 1 second behind. But as you can see now, going up the inside of Sergio Perez, can Mick pull off the move? Yes, he does, and he makes it for P7, and that was the end of the comeback fight. Mick was actually catching Verstappen, but there just wasn't enough laps left in the Grand Prix. But nevertheless, a brilliant P7 from the incident that happened on the first corner. That's a great comeback from Mick Schumacher there. You know, an entire pit stop down, and still, once again, scoring points in Formula 1 in every single race he's participated in. So, an absolutely incredible record from the young German. As you can see, looking at the podium there, Daniel Ricciardo winning at Hungary, so quite an upset there, beating both of the Mercedes cars for top step of the podium. But crucially, like I said before, Mick doing a great job of just fighting through the field, you know, doing a good little strategy. And I believe, even though he may have possibly finished ahead on the soft tyres if he hadn't pit, you just don't know if he would have had a puncture, or, you know, he could have had any sort of altercation with some car. Just overall, he might have hit the cliff in terms of pace, so it's always safer to just go on a faster tyre, and I think that was the right option, because obviously he managed to beat Van Dorn, so I guess the undercut sort of worked in a way. But looking at the final race results, you can see that both of the Ferraris there in 4th and 5th, recovering quite nicely after they were way down the field earlier on in the race. And overall, just a quite successful Grand Prix for Mick, and also Stoffel Van Dorn getting a good result from McLaren Honda there. And looking at the Drivers' Championship, you can see that Mick Schumacher is still in 5th place. He's dropped down a place for Daniel Ricciardo after winning that Grand Prix, but still in a very competitive position. And then looking at Man, as you can see, still holding 4th place in the Constructors incredibly. So Mick doing a brilliant job of just holding that team, and Roland, to be fair, getting a few points to his tally now. But overall, that was the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 11 of the season. And if you guys did enjoy it, then a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you're new around here, if you can subscribe to my channel, that'd be also absolutely fantastic. And also, if you did miss any of the videos on the screen right now, then I do urge you to go check them out if you haven't done so already. But thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.